Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Corporate Finance online classes. This is Dr. Mahesh M. Onjeri, Assistant Professor from Department of Management Studies, SDM College of Engineering and Technology, Dharwad. Okay, so dear students, in the previous class, we have completed learning all the capital budgeting evaluation techniques, and then we started solving additional problems. Okay, so yesterday we considered a problem, so today we'll discuss the solution to that problem. It was about net present value and making a decision whether to invest in the project or not. Students, I hope we can see this PowerPoint as this PDF file.
Yes, sir.
Okay, see, yesterday I spent more than 10 minutes time on making you understand what is the meaning of CFBT. So if in the problem CFBT is given, you have to convert them to CFAT. CFAT is cash flows before depreciation and tax. But for the calculation of net present value, we need CFAT, that is cash flows after taxes. Okay, so yesterday I was discussing about converting these CFBT, cash flows before depreciation and taxes, into CFAT, cash flows after taxes. These are cash inflows. So yesterday I explained you about the method of depreciation. It is straight line depreciation. Rate of depreciation is not given in the problem, but still you can find out the amount of depreciation, okay, by simply dividing the cost of machine by its lifetime. So cost of machine of 50,000 rupees, life of the machine of 5 years. So 50,000 divided by 5 is equal to 10,000 each year is the amount of depreciation on straight line method basis. So if you convert it, it will be 20% rate of depreciation. Okay, so I hope till here, okay, we are clear. It is not difficult to understand. So I'll just move ahead in the format. Column number 4, we have to find out the profit before tax or income before taxes. Okay, because depreciation is deducted for the purpose of calculating taxes. Okay. So we need to deduct column 2 from column 3. Okay, column 2 is CFBT, cash flows before depreciation and tax. So we need to deduct depreciation from it, that is column number 3. To arrive at profit before tax or income before taxes, or earnings before taxes. So 10,000 minus 10,000 is equal to 0. So taxable income is 0 in year 1. 10,692 minus 10,000 is 692. The taxable income in year 2 or earnings before taxes. Then 12,769 minus 10,000 is equal to 2,769. Okay, so which is the taxable income in year 3 or earnings before taxes, EBT. Okay, or a profit before tax. So you should remember all these terms. They mean one and the same. 13,462 minus 10,000 is equal to 3,462. So this is the profit before tax in year 4. 20,385 minus 10,000 is equal to 10,385 is the taxable income or profit before taxes in year 4. So on this amount each year we are going to charge a tax of 35%, which will be deducted from cash flows before depreciation and taxes or CFBT. Okay, so since the taxable income is 0 in year 1, so taxes are also 0 in year 1. Okay, the tax rate is 35%. It is given in the problem. As you can see here, the tax rate is 35%. So 35% of 692 is 242, or 35 divided by 100 into 692 is equal to 242 rupees, the amount of tax in year 2. 35% of 2,769 is 969 rupees, the amount of taxes in year 3. 35% of 3,462 is 1,212 rupees are the amount of taxes in year 4. 35% of 10,385 is 3,635 rupees are the amount of taxes in year 5. Okay, so this is the amount of tax. Okay, so now I have to find out. Okay, so this was a profit before tax or EBT, earnings before taxes. Now I have to find out EAT, earnings after taxes. So simply we deduct EBT, earnings before taxes, or profit before tax minus taxes to arrive at earnings after taxes. Simple deduction. So 0 minus 0 is equal to 0. Earning after taxes in year 1 are 0. Year 2, 692 minus 242 is equal to 450 rupees. The earning after taxes in year 2. 2769 minus 969 is equal to 1800. The earning after taxes in year 3. 3462 minus 1212 is equal to 2250 rupees are the earnings after taxes in year 4. 10,335 minus 3,635 is equal to 6,750 rupees are the earnings after taxes. Okay, so this is EAT, earnings after taxes. Okay, so now to this amount, earning after taxes, we have to add back the amount of depreciation because it is a non-cash cost. Cash is not actually gone out of the business. Okay, for only for the purpose of calculating the taxes, we deducted depreciation. Okay, we deducted depreciation. So a depreciation we are going to add back to earnings after taxes to find out CFAT, cash flows after taxes. So we can obtain cash flows after taxes by adding amount of depreciation back to earnings after taxes. So for year 1 it is 10,000 plus 0 is equal to 10,000 rupee or CFAT for year 1. So 10,000 plus 450 is equal to 10,450 is the CFAT in year 2. 10,000 plus 1,800 is equal to 11,800 is the CFAT in year 3. 10,000 plus 2,250 is equal to 12,250 rupees CFAT in year 4. So 10,000 plus 6,750 is equal to 16,750 rupee is the CFAT in year 5. So you can calculate the total CFAT for 5 years. It is 61,250 rupees. Okay. Now we are ready to find out the net present value. Okay, please remember. So though many students have made mistake in previous years, okay, the moment this problem they see, they forget due to various reasons, negligence, okay, not attended classes regularly, or not practiced the problems given to solve at home, or not maintained their fair book properly, okay, and not maintained all the resources that are given. So various reasons. Basic thing is a lack of practice. The moment they don't even bother to check the B in this CFBT, okay, simply they go ahead and calculate net present value with these cash flows before taxes, before depreciation and taxes, and the answer will be wrong. So I hope you understood, students, what is the twist in this problem.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so the total of CFAT is 61,250 rupees. So now I have to find out the net present value. This is a simple method. I hope you remember. So you need 4 columns. Years 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, year column, this is CFAT. The CFAT, what we have found here. Okay, so this is the CFAT, what we have found here. You have to write here simply. So what you can see, year 1, 10,000. Year 2, 10,450. Year 3, 11,800. Year 4, 12,250. and year 5, 16,750. So you write the CFAT, what we have estimated. Then we need to convert. These are future stream of cash inflows. So we need to find their present value. So since each amount is different, since each amount is different, so what are we going to consider this as a case of single cash flow or annuity?
Single cash flow.
Single cash.
Very good. And which technique we have to consider? Compounding or discounting?
Discounting.
Discounting
sir.
technique. Very good. Okay, so because we had to find out the present value of the future stream of cash inflows. So we are going to consider discounting technique, case of a present value of a single cash flow. So which table we have to refer for present value factors?
A3.
Table A3. Very good. Okay. So rate of interest given in the problem is at 10%. Okay. So we are going to refer table A3, 10% interest column. Okay, and present value factors from year 1 to 5 separately. Okay, so these are time value tables. This is table A1, table A2, table A3. Yes, we are here. So the table A3, the present value of 1 rupee. So 10% interest column. Okay, so we need to refer for years 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so any one student, can you identify the present value factor for year 1 from the table?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please mention all the 5.
Yes, sir. For first year, 0.909. Second year, 0.826. Third year, 0.751. Fourth year, 0.683. And fifth year, 0.621.
Yes, thank you, Swati. Okay, so that is what exactly we are in need. So those all values. Okay, so I'm going to write here against each year. So year 1 present value factor of 0.909, year 2 0.826, year 3 0.751, year 4 0.683, year 5 0.621. So simply by multiplying these two, you will get the present value. So 10,000 into 0.9, 10,000 into 0.909 is equal to 9,090 rupees is the present value of 10,000 rupees to be received in year 1. 10,450 into 0.826 is the present value of, is equal to 8,632 is the present value of 10,450 rupees to be received in year 2. 11,800 into 0.751 is equal to 8,862 rupees is the present value of 11,800 rupees to be received in year 3. 12,250 into 0.683 is equal to 8,367 is the present value of 12,250 to be received in year 4 in future. 16,750 into 0.621 is equal to 10,401 rupees is the present value of 16,750 rupees to be received in year 5. So once you total all this 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 present values, the total present value is 45,352 rupees. Total value is 45,352 rupees, from which, so now we have the total present value. So to find out net present value, simply you deduct the initial cash outlay or investment amount. So it is mentioned in the problem that the cost of the machine is 50,000 rupees. This is the initial investment. Okay, so from the present value of 45,352, we deduct initial cash outlay or investment amount or cost of machine, which is 50,000 rupees. Okay, so what remains is called as net present value. 4,600 48 rupees. It is written in bracket because the difference is negative, or net present value is negative. See, investment is 50,000 rupees, but total present value of the returns is less than 50,000 rupees, which is 45,352. So 4,648. Those who are confused, you can write minus, I don't mind. Minus sign you can put, minus 4,648 rupees. It means there is no profit on this project. If the company invests 50,000 rupees, okay, in a period of 5 years, the company will incur a loss of 4,648 rupees. So if there is a loss on the project or loss on the investment, it cannot maximize shareholders' wealth. Shareholders' wealth can be maximized only when there is, okay, returns, positive returns on an investment, if the net present value is positive. So suggestion is, you have to write this. Suggestion is reject the project since the net present value is negative. There is no profit. Okay, it cannot, this investment project cannot maximize shareholders' wealth. Okay, so any questions here? Any questions? So such problems will come for, yeah, thank you, for 10 marks. So they are simple. Just require, what you need, two things. One is practice. Second is presence of mind. Or presence of mind, I would say understanding of the concepts. Okay, what is CFBT? What is CFAT? Remember in examination, okay, we cannot write in the column cash inflow the after taxes, cash inflow the before depreciation and taxes. Okay, there is no space. In the table data given, it will be written CFBT or CFAT. And in the examination like this, okay, here I have, though I have written it in full form. Okay, in all the examinations, simply they ask compute NPV. Whom you will ask if you don't know what is NPV? You cannot ask supervisor also. There will be engineering supervisors, engineering faculty, remember that. Okay, so any doubts other than okay, the student who responded? Anybody else? Any doubts if you have?
No, sir. No
No,
doubt.
sir.
Okay, then that's great. So one more similar problem. So we are going to solve. Okay, so if it would have been a class, I would have given this sum to solve, okay, in the classroom. Okay, but anyway, now it is difficult. If I give you the sum to solve, then I will have to sit idle. And I will not know whether students are solving or not. Okay, anyway, so exactly same, okay, there is no difference. Okay, so this is from another question paper. So the same example from the textbook is modified and given. See, a company is considering an investment proposal to install a new machine. Okay, so what is the decision? The company is planning or considering to invest, okay, in a proposal that requires installation of a new machine. The project will cost 50,000 rupees. It will have a life of 5 years and no salvage value. All information is same. I'll tell what is the difference. Only tax rate. In the previous problem, it was 35%, and here it is 50%. In fact, it is more easy to find out. Just half of the earnings before taxes or profit before taxes is the taxable amount, tax amount. The company follows straight line method of depreciation. Same here, 10,000 rupee depreciation each year. The net earnings before depreciation and tax are as below. So they have also given same data. See, I have told you, you need to remember and understand these terms. A lot of terms are interchangeably used here. So in the previous problem, what we said, cash flows before depreciation and tax, and short form CFBT. Same data is given here also, but they have used a different word. Instead of a cash flow, what they have mentioned, can anybody read it out?
Earning before
Earning
depreciation.
before tax.
Yes, very good. Instead of cash flows, they have mentioned it as earnings. Earnings before depreciation and tax are also CFBT only, cash flows before depreciation and tax. So since it is written earnings before depreciation and tax, we write here the short form EBDT, earnings before depreciation and tax. Okay. So the only difference is the EBDT, earnings before depreciation and taxes, are different amounts. Okay, each year, and 10 interest rate is also 10% only. It is a replica of the same problem. Only two differences. One is tax rate is 50% here, and there it was 35%. There it was mentioned CFBT, cash flows before depreciation and tax, and here they have mentioned it as earnings before depreciation and tax, which is denoted by EBDT. Second difference. Third difference is the amounts. CFBT or EBDT amounts are different, but whereas the method is same. First you need to determine CFAT using the same tables. Then using this is the CFBT, CFAT, sorry. Last column is CFAT. Okay. Here, sorry, here. We have used a horizontal vertical table here. There it was a horizontal table. Here it is a vertical. Calculations are vertically done here. In the previous sum, calculations were done horizontally, and that is the difference. You can use the same horizontal calculation also, like this, from left to right here. From left to right, calculations are made horizontally to arrive at CFAT. So here in this problem, calculations are done vertically, one below another. Okay. So these are the CFAT, cash flows after taxes for years 1 to 5. We find the net present value in exactly same way. Even the present value factors are also same, because the rate of interest 10%. Table A3 is what you need to refer. Okay. So here also the total of total net present value is 46,181. Investment is 50,000. So the difference is negative, minus 3,819 rupees. Same decision, reject the project since NPV is negative. Okay. Anybody feels that I need to explain this sum in detail, because this problem is just a copied and only to 5% it is modified. But in solution, 100% same it is. In solution, it is just 100% same. Anybody who feel? Because I have one more problem which I can complete. Yeah, anybody? Even if there is one student who says, yeah, please sir, this problem also you explain in detail like the previous one, I will do it. You just do not hesitate. Or if you say, yes sir, it is exactly same, as I also briefed, 10 minutes I spent. It's not that I simply skipped it. Okay, so that I can go ahead with the last problem. Okay. Yeah, anybody? So is that okay? Shall I go ahead with the next problem?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Usually I solve this problem in class. I used to give this problem for class work. So students in the class, they used to solve it. I used to go roam through the class and check. Okay. So what difficulty students are facing, or is it possible for them to solve the problem? Okay. Thank you then. Thank you so much. So this is also another problem from examination question, old VTU papers. These are all. But anyway, they give us a good variety of problems to solve. So pay attention now. See, as I have told, you should never forget this subject. Okay, medium of instruction is English. Your exam question paper will be in English. You have to read and understand. So if you do not read and understand the sum or problem, it will become extremely difficult for you to even understand which chapter it belongs to. But provided if you understand the meaning of the sentence, see, as we have solved the problems. Actually, solving the problem may be lengthy, but it is not difficult. It is not complicated. Remember, only one chapter which I feel confusing it is, that is the chapter number 2. time value of money. There are so many techniques and so many cases, so you may get confused, that's it. But there also I told you have to read the English sentence, try to understand whether the present value has to be converted into future or future value has to be converted into present. Depending on that, you can choose the technique. Okay, so pay attention. I'll read the problem. Naveen Enterprises is considering a capital project, means long-term investment project. Please remember, never forget. Otherwise, you will not be called as finance students. So Naveen Enterprises is considering a capital project about which the following information is available. Okay, simple. So they are given the following information about the investment, long-term investment project which Naveen Enterprises is planning. The investment outlay on the project will be 100 million rupees. Okay, see in this problem, just simply use as it is. Don't try to put the exact number of zeros. Okay, there are more chances that you may miss out some number of zeros. So simply you say in column rupees in millions and write as it is 100, 80, 20, just like that. And it will even become easy for you to solve the problem. Okay, don't attempt to write all the zeros. So the investment outlay on the project will be 100 million rupees. This consists of 80 million rupees on the plant and machinery and 20 million rupees on the net working capital. Okay, so together it is given 100 million rupees is the present investment. The entire outlay will be incurred at the beginning of the project. So the company has to invest 100 million rupees at the beginning of the project. So that is simple. The project will be financed through 45 million of equity capital. Okay, so this is something new here. So all these classes we never understood from where money will come or from where finance will come for the purpose of investment. So it was not given in the previous problems. So this is the first problem where it is mentioned from where the company will bring money or finance to invest in this capital project. So how the company is arranging for the finance? Finance means money required for investment. So the project will be financed with 45 million rupees of equity capital, means the company will have equity share issue, equity shares worth 45 million rupees. So 45 million rupee will be financed or arranged through equity shares. We call it equity capital. 5 million rupees of preference capital. So 5 million worth of preference shares will be issued. By that way, the company will arrange for some 5 million rupees through preference shares. So remember, on equity shares, dividend payment is not mandatory. Okay, non-commerce students, even commerce students, you please learn properly the basics. On equity shares, payment of dividend is not mandatory by law. Remember this. Okay, but on preference shares, it becomes mandatory to pay the dividend. Please remember. Then 50 million rupees of a debt capital, means the company will borrow, in layman language, take loan from bank or financial institution. Okay, 50 million rupees. So 45 plus 5, 50, 50 plus 50, 100 million rupees. And that is how the company will be arranging for finance or money required to invest. Preference capital will carry a dividend rate of 15%. Okay, so every year the company has to pay 15% dividend to preference shareholders. Remember this. And the debt capital will carry an interest rate of 15%. So every year the company has to pay 15% interest on the loan taken. Okay, so remember this, you should not forget. Third information, the life of the project is expected to be 5 years. At the end of 5 years, fixed assets will fetch a net salvage value of 30 million rupees. Salvage value 30 million rupees, whereas the net working capital will be liquefied at its book value. So recovery of working capital, remember 20 million rupees the additional working capital required. The project, fourth information, the project is expected to increase the revenues of the firm by 120 million rupees per year. So the project is expected to increase revenues of the firm by 120 million rupees per year. The increase in costs on account of the project is expected to be 80 million rupees per year, which includes all the items of cost other than depreciation, interest, and tax. Okay, so 80 million rupees. Okay, the cost per year on account of this new project. And it is mentioned this includes all items of cost other than depreciation, interest, and tax. See, I was talking about reading the English sentence and trying to understand what it says. Okay, the sentence is split into two halves. This includes all the items of cost. So all the items of cost it includes in the 80 million rupees. And next half it says other than depreciation, interest, and tax. It means depreciation, interest, and tax are not included in this 80 million rupees, which we need to deduct, okay, from the revenue to arrive at cash flows after taxes. The effect of tax rate would be 30%. Tax is charged at the rate of 30%. Okay. Then one more favor, okay, the author has done here. Plant and machinery will be depreciated at the rate of 25% per year as per written down value method. Hence, the depreciation charges will be, depreciation amount is given readily. You need not calculate depreciation in this problem. The amount of depreciation in year 1 is also rupees in millions. Rupees in millions. Amount of depreciation in year 1 is 20 million rupees. Year 2, 15 million rupees. Year 3, 11.25 million rupees. Year 4, 8.44 million rupees. Year 5, 6.33 million rupees. Okay. So what is the question here? From the above information, estimate the project cash flows. Okay. See, we have already done it in categories of projects: single proposal, replacement situation, and mutually exclusive situation. Especially I would prefer single proposal and replacement situation. Same format you have to use. And such a problem can also appear for 20 marks case study. Remember, a little bit of attention, okay, and practice, okay, can fetch you 20 marks straight away, because this is a numerical. If your answer is correct, full 20 out of 20. Remember this. Okay, so then, so you need not find out the net present value, or you need not make the decision whether the company should invest or not in the project. Like what they have asked you is, from the above information, estimate the project cash flows. The estimated project cash flows are nothing but CFAT, cash flows after taxes, or cash inflows after taxes. So you just need to estimate that using the format which you have used in single proposal and replacement situation. Okay, that's it. There is nothing more than that. But a lot of calculations are involved. A calculator will be handy. Without calculator, you won't be able to arrive at the accurate answer. Remember this. Okay, so let me begin, and in the remaining 20 minutes, I'll continue again. This problem can be solved here in this class. So this column I have particulars. In fact, it's a calculation. Vertically, things are calculated here. So I have years here on the right hand side. Year 1 column, year 2 column, year 3 column, year 4 column, and year 5 column. So it is given in the problem. The incremental revenue itself is given in the problem. So you need not even bother. That problem is also solved. Otherwise, again, it's difficult to find out the incremental revenue. So incremental revenue amount itself is given. Write it as it is for each year. Okay, so here one thing what I have missed out is for each column of year, I should write in bracket rupees in million. Okay, rupees in million. Okay, you please do it. Don't forget. So incremental revenue in year 1, 120 million rupees, which is given in the problem. Every time if we keep going back, okay, it will take a lot of time. So the project is expected to increase revenues of the firm by 120 million rupees per year. Just now, the memory is fresh. We read the problem. So incremental revenue is 120 million rupees each year. Same year it is, each year. Okay. So from which we need to deduct incremental cost. So they have mentioned on account of this investment, 80 million rupee would be the cost which the company is going to incur each year, 80 million rupees. Okay. So years 1 to 5, each year 80 million rupee would be the incremental cost. So which we deduct from the incremental revenue to arrive at earnings before depreciation, interest and tax. So 120 minus 80 is 40 million rupees. 40 million rupees, 40 million rupees, 40 million rupees and 40 million rupees. Okay. So what we arrived at? Earnings before depreciation, interest and tax. Simply you have to calculate and deduct 20 marks. Okay, in your pockets. But pay attention. So next part I'll continue. Once this meeting gets over, you join back the same meeting. Log into the same meeting.